It is ultimately important for you to look at your goals, truly what you want to do in your life, and then look at the people who you spend the most time with in your life and figure out if that lines up.
Well, good morning, good morning. It is Wednesday, September 4th, 2019. That means there are exactly 117 days left for you to make this year the very best year of your life, the very best that you could possibly make 2017, and certainly make it a year to remember. So we are in what is still considered for most businesses, definitely on the calendar year, we're still in the third quarter, right? We've got one more month to go to be in the third quarter from a business standpoint, unless you're in a seasonal business like I am in construction, when you deal with a lot of cold weather states, things like that, like we do, you probably a little bit more like the fourth quarter already. So, but this topic is one that I've wanted to talk about here for a little bit, and I've been trying to find a way to kind of mix some business stuff into here instead of it all just being kind of self-development stuff. I think there's some value in business stuff, and just from a professional standpoint, I think we can all benefit from it. So good morning, Bruce, Dayton, Justin, Dean, Lydia. What's happening, guys? Thanks for jumping on. Judd, my brother, what's happening, man? So there's kind of two ways that this year could be going for everybody, right? It could be you're just kind of lagging a little bit behind. You're not quite where you want to be, and you need to close the gap. The second option is that you're crushing it this year. You're having a really good year, and you just want to close out the year strong. And so we're going to talk about both of those scenarios today. A lot of people who have really good years going, they end up not finishing quite as good because many people that I coach, many people that I've coached or had on my team, as soon as they start chaining together some wins, they start to let their foot off the gas. So we're going to talk a little bit about that this morning as well. So for all you guys who are on here, please, by all means, smash that share button. Share this thing out to your pages. It is available on every platform: YouTube, iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, SoundCloud, on and on and on. So please, by all means, if you guys see value in these episodes, there continues to be more and more and more downloads on podcasts, which tells me that somebody is finding some value in this. So hopefully you guys are too. I appreciate you guys spending your mornings with me here. Good morning, Terry, Christina. What's happening? But, we want to reach as many people as we can with this show. I'm trying to help everybody start their day off on a better foot than, what they probably typically do. And we're trying to get that out and get these messages out to as many people as we possibly can. And I need your help to do that. So here's a couple of things that I wrote down about, when I think about myself trying to finish off 2019 strong. Some of the things that I need to do that I will pass along to you guys as tips that have worked for me in the past, whether that's, getting myself kind of back on track if I'm a little off, or whether I've got a lot of momentum and I'm trying to close out strong. These tips will be great to help you kind of, get some perspective and dial things in for the rest of this year. So number one is get your routine dialed in. The biggest issue that many people face, at least what I see when I'm coaching people and they're kind of off, they're just not on their regular game, is that they don't have their routine down. They're just kind of reacting to the things that come their way. And there is no harder way to live your days than just being reactive to what the world throws at you. So having that routine, kind of having a plan, having a strategy for the day. Yesterday you guys probably saw me post some things. I was up at 5 o'clock in the morning, got my last workout done just after 11 o'clock last night. But the reality is that yesterday I really created some momentum by creating a plan in the morning. I got off to a great start. I had everything laid out that I was going to do, and I just kept hammering on it, right? Just, hour after hour, it was more production, more activity. And I was still, interacting, closing deals last night at probably like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at night. We were still working some deals to get some things done and keeping that momentum. So when I say get your routine dialed in, there's a couple things that I mean. So number one is, what do you actually want to accomplish before the end of the year? So write that down, and write it down every single day. Write down your goals every single day. If you write them down every single day, you're starting to put those into your mind, and you're going to, when you're on autopilot with your subconscious mind dragging your butt through the day, those goals being written down and committed to your brain are going to help you in ways that you can't even imagine. When you write down your goals, here's one thing that I see people miss so often in business, and something that we spend a ton of time coaching on in my coaching company, is taking your goals and then reverse engineering that to figure out what you actually need to do to accomplish them. So, taking the revenue, income, whatever goals you set, and actually breaking those down, not just focusing on the results that you want, but focusing on the actual work that it takes to achieve those results. That's where people miss. Everybody, if you ask anybody, how much revenue do you want to do this year? Oh, I want to sell $2 million, $3 million, $5 million, whatever it is. But if you start asking them questions, actually looking under the hood of what they've got in their mind as far as how they're going to produce this, sometimes it's not even a reasonable goal. So in our business, for example, in the asphalt paving world, you have to have a certain average job size to be able to achieve a huge goal like that. And so if you don't do the analytics behind what you're setting your goals for, you're ultimately setting yourself up for disappointment. And so just take the time to reverse engineer that and literally get it down to, in our world, I get it down to, how many phone calls do I have to make? How many customers do I have to meet with in a week? How many proposals do I have to put out to actually generate the activity that's necessary to ultimately produce that end result? So that's really, really important. So get your routine dialed in, write your goals down, and then actually take the time to calculate out those goals to what you actually need to do. Focus on the work, don't focus on the result. Second bullet point is have a plan. I say this frequently, but no plan is actually a plan. It's just not a good one. But have a plan, have a strategy. Think about what you need to do. Maybe it's September, I need to accomplish this. Good morning, Dina, Patricia. Thanks for joining in. What do I need to accomplish this week? What do I need to accomplish per week in September, October? Maybe it's a little bit different in your business. Ours flows very different. So by the end of October in our business, we're pretty much wrapped up from a sales perspective, right? So we need to close all the deals that we can between now and the end of October. So have a plan and spend some time, quiet time, guys. Spend some quiet time actually creating your strategy for the rest of the year, and it will produce way better results than if you don't. Block out the noise around you to get you hyper-focused. And when I say that, you guys probably have to evaluate what the noise actually is. So sometimes in your life, the noise might be things that are hanging out there that you haven't handled. Sometimes it might be somebody in your family. Sometimes it might be a coworker that you've been kind of putting up with that you need to have a conversation with to get that, that thing that distracts you, that gets you off your focus, to get that off your plate. But blocking out the noise is a critical piece to being able to produce tremendous results and really reach your potential. Track your progress. So in addition to writing down your goals, figuring out the activity, if you don't track your progress, you will never know how or when you need to put your foot on the gas a little bit more to close the gap. So tracking your progress is a major, major part of people's success. If you look at really successful people, they're always tracking their progress week to week, day to day, month to month. What does the activity look like? How is that activity producing the results? It's very important for you guys to keep your eye on the ball and actually have a dedicated place that you track your results, that you can keep score, right? Make sure that you are investing into yourself. You know, for me, my routine, good morning, Glenn, what's happening, man? My routine includes the following: mind, body, spirit. So in the morning, I feed my mind by reading, listening to audiobooks, reading regular books, listening to audiobooks, listening to podcasts, listening to videos, watching videos. So all of those things feed my mind the right information, right? They prepare me for the day. Body, make sure you're working out. If you don't do anything, you don't have to work out in the morning. I would tell you, like, do 20 push-ups, go for a walk, get outside, do something that gets yourself active before you just go and sit down at your desk. For those people who have taken this advice from me, their response to it has always been unbelievable. They've had really, really good results just from getting moving in the morning. You know, sometimes you forget that your routine is like walk downstairs, get my coffee, get some water, sit down at my desk, and I don't get up from here for 14 hours. So it's really, really important for you to have the right routine that includes you getting active, getting your body working before you actually start your day. And third for me is spirit. So I always, you know, I've got my book here that I read every single morning. Daily Moments of Strength, Inspiration for Men. This is my book. I'm not telling you what to believe or what to read. But for me, some sort of spiritual book that I consume is absolutely critical to my day. I call it putting on my armor for the day, right? It's, you know, I read something that puts me in the right state of mind that gets me ready for the day. So mind, body, spirit. What I wrote down here is if you don't feel right, you will not be able to perform at the highest levels. Feeling right takes all of those things. You got to have the right mental diet. You have to have the right physical diet. You have to eat healthy, and you have to have some kind of, you know, spiritual diet or things, you know, spirituality that you believe in, whatever that is that you believe in. You got to be grateful. You got to have all those things, and that's all part of your spiritual being. So eating healthier and something as simple as drinking more water. If you drink more water, you're going to feel better. If you feel better, you're going to perform better. If you eat healthy and you drink a lot of water, you're going to feel better. I promise you. Feeding yourself the right mental diet, making those choices in the morning as to what exactly you're going to consume. Who is the person that you appreciate the most that you want to go consume their content? So for me, that person kind of fluctuates, right? It might be one person one day based on this mood, and it might be a different person based on a different mood. If I'm really in the zone and I'm really trying to grind it out, I'm going to listen to a different person than if I'm trying to like focus, play the long game, create a strategy for my business, create, you know, anything like that that's kind of longer, the long game. I'm going to listen to a different person than if I'm trying to close deals that particular day. If I have a goal, like a little sprint goal that I'm trying to accomplish for that day. So just make sure that you are evaluating what is in your mental diet, and make sure that you're feeding yourself some positive information every single day. It will make a huge difference in your life. And last but not least on my list here, and this is a big one, it is September 4th. We have 117 days left in this year. Spend them with people that are going to help you get to where you want to be. So what I have down here is evaluate those that you want to spend the rest of this year around. If you need to make changes in your circle, do it now. And I will tell you, this is probably the thing that I see people waste the most time doing, is, trying to, and I'm guilty of it myself, by the way, so I'm not here preaching up on a soapbox, but giving people way too much time of yours to waste. And, when you really look at it, and some people just have to go through this process, right? You gotta kind of feel like you've given somebody every chance before you kind of cut them out of your life or create some distance in between you and them. But the reality is, guys, is that, if you're in a situation where you need to make up some ground this year, you need to do some big things to close out the year strong, you have to be careful about where you're investing your time. Because if you're investing your time into somebody that frustrates you, it's going to greatly curb your progress towards achieving your goals for the rest of the year. Because tell me if this isn't true. When somebody in your life is creating some havoc, creating some things that you don't like, you don't just deal with those things, but you end up having conversations with other people. You're on the phone talking about, how do we handle this? How do I get away from this? Man, this person's frustrating me. So the amount of time that we spend on those people, it's not just our interactions with those people. It's everything that comes along with that relationship that eats up our time, that restricts us from doing what we're good at, using our gifts every single day to get us closer to where we want to be. And that, my friends, is probably the most powerful piece of advice in this whole list of things, is evaluate the people and make sure that you're spending time with the ones that transfer positive energy to you, create a higher level of confidence. I just posted something the other day that talked about, the true definition of a friend. And, the true definition of a friend, I think, as the quote reads, I'm going to try to pull it up here so I can tell you guys. But it is, let's see, where's it at here? In the deepest sense of the word, a friend is someone who sees more potential in you than you see in yourself. Someone who helps you become the very best version of yourself. And I can tell you this, guys, I've learned this lesson in a positive way over the last couple of years. I've been blessed to have new people come into my life that have helped me find a higher gear, that help me believe in a better version of myself. And I want the same for you guys. You deserve to feel, one of the things that we say, in our circle of friends is, man, we just hope that everybody gets the opportunity to have those kinds of friends, to have that circle that really lights them on fire, that allows them to take their life to a whole new level, that allows them to believe not just in themselves, but in a bigger mission that everybody is committed to accomplishing. And man, it's a special feeling. And so I would tell you guys, if you feel like you're just in a little bit of a rut, like something's just a little bit off, that's where you got to start. You got to start with, who are you spending your time with? And what are those people, kind of transferring to you energy-wise that is, creating greater momentum, or it's dragging you back in a negative direction? And that is probably the most important thing in this list of everything that I talked about here. So just to review the list real quick, I'm going to go high-level bullet points here. Get your routine dialed in, guys. So write down your goals, calculate out the activity, the work that it takes to actually achieve those goals, and then track your progress to all of that. Have a plan. Sit down and think. Get in a quiet spot. Go to a park. Get outside. Go somewhere where you don't have the distraction of electronics, televisions, all that stuff, and actually create a real plan for yourself. Block out the noise around you. If there's noise in your life, you're never going to be as successful as you have the potential to be. Block it all out and get rid of it. Invest into yourself, mind, body, spirit. Take the time to eat healthy. Drink a lot of water. If you don't feel right, you're not going to perform right. I promise you that. Feed yourself the right mental diet. Who are you going to listen to that's going to create the most success throughout the rest of this year? Hopefully, I'm one of them. I'd love to be a part of the rest of your journey this year. If it's not, listen, if it doesn't work for you, I encourage you to go listen to those who help you win in life. That's what it takes. And then last but not least, evaluate your circle and get the right people. If you don't have the right people, go recruit the right people. Create activity. Go on social media and create activity. Interact with people that you admire. They will eventually become your friends. I promise you. I've done it 100 times. I have a lot of friends that, I started out kind of looking on the sidelines, watching from afar, seeing what they do. And eventually I just, commented on a bunch of their stuff, and then I sent them a DM and said, hey man, I'd like to connect or whatever. And next thing you know, I'm on the phone with them. Now I got a new friend. That's how it works. And I've chosen those friends based on a variety of things. They either inspired me personally, business-wise. They look like a person that would, help our circle, help our mission of what we're trying to accomplish in the world. There's a lot of different reasons, right? But people are always open to new friends when that person looks like somebody that would add value to their circle as well. So that's it for today, guys. Again, all of these episodes are available on YouTube, iTunes, Stitcher, SoundCloud, Spotify, everywhere that you can find it. So please, by all means, guys, share this stream, leave a bunch of comments, leave a bunch of likes so that Facebook gets us out to more people and gets this message out to more people that might need it. And go to YouTube, go to iTunes. If you go to iTunes, leave a review. Those reviews help us get more attention on iTunes. It raises us up the charts and gets people to see this podcast more than they would if you didn't leave a review. So leave a review. It takes 2 seconds. iTunes has made it really simple for you to do that. If you guys just go on there and search for the Perspective Podcast, Brian Hess, and it will pop right up, and you can share all of the episodes since the beginning of time. I think there's almost 30 of them now. So you can share all of those episodes. You can go back and pick the ones that you really liked and send them to a friend. I would appreciate it if you guys did that. I really appreciate you spending every morning with me here. And I will see you again tomorrow morning at 7:30, same place, same time, right here on Morning Perspective. Appreciate you guys.